intimate thing to let somebody else put something permanent on you. So therefore, you have to build a nice connection in that way.
Follow your clients back on Instagram, dude. Follow them back. You know, I've seen tattoo shops do, man. They'll make a post, be like, hey, we're looking for an apprentice. Hey, apprentice wanted. To me, that just seems like you're looking for some shop help. You don't see like these Buddhist monks at the top of the mountains like, hey, I'm looking for an apprentice, bro.
People get their self-esteem like out of whack, man, when it gets slow. That's what it is now. Don't think it's like, you're not a doctor.
No.
If you guys want to see the fucking old school tattoo, hay que tener una persona al lado que en verdad lo apoya a uno también y que quiera salir con madre. I never had to build mine, I never had to fucking build my own needles and shit. I feel like you went through that old school process, bro. Esa parte es viendo yo, pero estoy solo, marica.
Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of Select Tattoo Live. Once again, here with the crew, Jose behind the scenes. I have Terrence and our new guest, Joe. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Joe, welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Dude, this is clean. This is a great setup.
This is fun, ain't it?
Yeah, man. We got so much space. I wasn't expecting like this whole production.
Oh, man.
I thought it was just like an iPhone just sitting in.
That's how it started, man. That's how like Google, Amazon started. Here we are now, man.
Dude.
We're growing,
That's
man.
a great analogy.
Absolutely, bro. So tell us a little about yourself, man.
All right, what's up, man? My name is Joe Campos. I've been tattooing for 8 years now. I started out in Gold Dust off Lower Greenville, kind of hopped around to different street shops and even private studios. Yeah, man, just kind of figuring it out year by year.
I mean, I think that's all of us. I think we're all just trying to figure it out, man.
Yeah, one thing I'm doing a lot more lately is traveling and doing like little pop-ups and stuff like that. Just to kind of help supplement the slow season that's going on right now here in Dallas. It's cool, man. I was just in Seattle, did a little pop-up out there and got to see the sights, eat some good food. It's awesome.
Speaking of Seattle, I've always had this thing to where, I mean, personally, I love Texas. I love the weather. Mm-hmm. I don't love the sun. I love the rain. I love the gloominess, the cold time.
You say that all the time.
All the time, right?
It'll be raining. You'll be like, magical.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? It's raining. It's cloudy, dude.
That's exactly it. So was that
the
it?
Same way. I'm the exact same. Dude, my seasonal depression is in the summertime.
I'm telling you. See, I'm not the only one.
Nah.
But was that how Seattle was? Was it like gloomy, everything like you expected?
Everything was gloomy. The coolest part, it was cold. It wasn't as rainy.
Okay.
But the coolest part, dude, is like all of downtown Seattle was just graffiti. All the highways, all the roads, all the bridges, all the buildings was just like hella tagged up. And when I say like tagged up, I don't mean just like a little bit. I mean like from top to bottom, left to right, all the walls was just cool artwork. Like I was not expecting that in the city. It was super cool. That's
crazy because they don't advertise themselves to be that crazy. Like, you know?
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, I thought it was super cool. I met a lot of cool artists out there. Met a lot of good people. Yeah. A lot of good craft beer spots out there too.
I don't hear a whole lot about Seattle, but what I do hear, because I know Jimi Hendrix is from Seattle.
So, Nirvana.
All
too? All the grunge people are from
Dude, so you think it's the weather that's bringing that out?
Definitely has to be, man.
You know I was going to go with that. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, dude. Like maybe that gloomy weather makes it like, I don't know, super artsy, introvert, like paradise, you know?
It has to. Yeah. It has to. And I love it, dude. Did you ever, did you go to the what is it called? The market?
No, I didn't get to go to like the fish market. No, I didn't get to do that. But I had a couple cool dive bars, a couple cool restaurants. I prefer like the smaller, grungier, like you know, like a bar where everyone's like
little hole in the wall kind of situation.
One rinky-dink pool table with cigarette burns on it. Like,
bro, that's the best.
I like obstacles on my pool table.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So
like a little mini golf, huh?
Yeah, like mini golf.
Talking about the little ones that you used to buy, and you just like wind back the little thing, just let it go.
Exactly.
I fucking love that, dude. Fucking phenomenal things. But that's awesome, man. That's awesome. The traveling thing is one thing that I've been wanting to do a lot more. And like you said, the slow season here, it's tough. I mean, it's tough whenever you're waiting for something to happen. And that's why I like to see whenever artists like, hey, let me guest spot, let me go here, let me go there. Because you get to meet people. I mean, that's what the industry is about. I think that's what it really is about. Sure, everybody wants to be one of the best artists around type thing. Absolutely, sure. But that's not what it's all about. It's about also connecting, building those relationships. Because if you know, thanks to Jose, shout out to Jose, I've met so many great artists in this industry. You know, of course, most of them of Hispanic, descent, because that's what we, hang out with. But man, some of those artists I thought I would never get to know. And I followed them from whenever I started to where I am now. I've been able to shake hands with them, and it's like, wow, dude, that's such a cool experience. And it's all because of the people that you know, the hands that you shake, rather than just how good you are as a person.
And you finally get to see that these people are normal. Like you think you idolize them because they're so good at what they do, and then you like, you kind of fanboy a little bit. And then when you meet them, you're like, oh man, we're in the same position. You know what I mean? They're trying to do their thing just like me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was like me when I moved here. And I was in Austin first, and I got a chance to meet some people that I looked up to all the time. Man, Nick Baxter, Jeff Ensminger, like a bunch of people. Those were my top two. So when I got here, man, I was like, oh my God, dude, it's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so it just makes you feel better about where you are, I guess.
Yeah, man, doing the conventions and seminars, the Explorer Conference. I've done the Explorer Conference like maybe 3 times, and I get to like shake hands with my heroes and, get some tips, pro tips.
Right.
Even just something like chilling and having a drink. Like, you just grab a drink real quick and like chat, talk about life. We don't have to talk about tattoos.
Right.
We just talk about life and what inspired you to be who you are. And that's super cool. That's something that I love about the community, like
Right.
tattooing and all that stuff. Like you're saying, meeting your heroes and all that.
Yeah, man.
It's pretty cool, man.
And I think that's why we also do this too, because whenever you look at somebody, you think of their art, you think of who they are, and I think that's all you see, right? And whenever we do this, you'll find out we're a bunch of idiots, really. We're just trying to figure things out. We're good whenever it comes to like drawing and everything, but we're a bunch of idiots.
But we have to say, like, come on, people do act that way, and then once you start to be around people that are cool, you understand. Oh man, that ain't the way to be. You met some, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
Dude, you should see my mom around like just musicians, like celebrities. She saw some DJ that she loves, and she was like screaming, like trying to unbutton her shirt and shit. I'm like,
She's the bra thrower, huh?
Oh, my mom's a bra thrower. Yeah, it's just a regular person behind a DJ booth, like.
The guy's probably just hitting play on all these mixes he's already had. But hey, fuck it. It's how you perceive yourself. I think that's so cool, especially now in this industry with the whole marketing, the whole social media. You have to market yourself. You have to figure out what's your little, what do we call it? Your shiny shit. What's your little shiny shit? What is it that's going to draw people in? And a lot of people, I mean, you see reels, you see, people doing crazy little transitions and left and right. And I think that's so cool. But man, is that a hassle, man?
Oh,
It is. It is.
Back when Instagram was only about posting pictures and showing your art.
It was easy.
I miss that so much.
Dude,
I miss
so
it.
much.
I just figured out hashtags. I switched it up.
No, so you just figured it out, and now it's gone. You know what I mean?
Oh, they did. I heard about that, man. Because I remember I have a whole entire note section of like 50 hashtags of like, different points. Which one is going to fit? Copy, paste. Copy, paste.
Smart. You
Can't
put
do
it in
that.
your notes, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Can't
God.
even do that no more because like you have to go ahead and manually type in certain things. And you're like, oh,
And if you
crap.
use the same hashtags repetitively, then Instagram will think that you're a bot or that you're spam and that you're flagging. So they'll shadow ban you or whatever.
Yup.
It's crazy. And I remember going to an Explorer conference and they were talking about how Instagram's going to start doing a thing to where like if you post a picture of your face, it's going to boost that post.
That's what he was saying.
And, or if you post a picture of a table or furniture or whatever, it's going to suppress that post. And sure enough, a few months later, people started doing like face filters and all this other stuff. And I noticed, I A and B'd it. I was like, let me post a picture of a tat, post a picture of my face, and let me do one that's both. That has the carousel or whatever. And sure enough, all the ones that had like my face in it
were the ones that are blowing up the
liked.
most.
Bruh,
Yeah.
I was trying to say that, man. I was like, we need to do that more,
yeah.
But it sucks though, because you have to balance it out. It's like, man, every time you do something, you learn a little bit more. If you just show your face and there's no audio, that might be a thing too.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Overdub it with like a famous movie quote or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. And see, that's what we have to do to try to stay busy in everything that we have now, man. And it's crazy because the slow season for us, what would you consider a slow season?
Usually here in Dallas, it's around the time that the state fair starts because everyone's saving up their money to do that.
Yeah.
And then right after that is, obviously like Black Friday, Thanksgiving,
True.
Christmas, my birthday. It's a big holiday. January 3rd. January 3rd.
Remember the date?
I'll put the
Joe Day.
I'll put my Amazon wish list in the.
The description below.
But yeah, all those big holidays come up like consecutively. So I think that's usually where it starts. It's like the ending months of the year.
Yeah.
And then it picks right back up whenever people start to get their tax returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what it is.
Because there's no way to dance around that, man. I mean, you're talking about Thanksgiving and you're talking about Christmas. You're talking about people traveling. They're not here. It doesn't matter what kind of Thanksgiving special you throw. Don't matter what kind of Christmas gift certificate you give away. They're not here. They're spending money on their kids or their family. So
And I think that, it's smart. Of course, you want to spend money on something because that's what we think. Tattoos, they're not a necessity. They're luxury,
Absolutely.
right? Absolutely. And so whenever you're doing it, especially during the holidays, it's okay to go ahead and get a tattoo because of the wintertime, right? You don't want to expose it to the pool. You want to expose it to the sun, so forth and so on. It would be the ideal, season for you to get tattoos. But there's also all these other things that come into play. Like he said, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these other things that just
I thought it would be funny to like travel to other countries that don't have the same holidays as us. You know, like when it's Christmas time, I'm in like Russia. Like they're like, "What's Christmas?" And we just want tats. And I'm like, "Hell yeah,
That's good.
Christmas is the holiday where everybody in the USA gets tattoos. I mean, you should partake in this. So how about we start this tradition
right?"
now?
Yes.
Like,
Krampus is gonna get you if you don't get a tattoo. Yeah.
I fucking love it, dude. We're definitely doing this. We're definitely doing this.
borderline.
Copyright.
Yeah.
Fucking right off the rip. Yeah, you can't take that idea from me no more. No,
Dude, that's
awesome.
genius. That is super genius.
No, absolutely.
That is.
But as far as like gimmicks, whenever what you've seen that you've done, like you said, reels, you know, face recognition, trying to keep up with the Instagram, and everything. Do you all also do TikTok? Do you all do anything else as far as like advertising and stuff?
I don't do TikTok. I want to learn, but dude, I can't retain all this information.
Right.
If I learn something, I'm gonna forget something else. That's how my brain works. Like I don't remember algebra anymore, but I know how to make reels. Like, and I don't know. I just it's a lot on my plate, and like I don't know, man. I don't know how these youngsters do it, man. It's just. It's hard, but yeah, what I really do is do word of mouth, man. So obviously it's slow. Since I'm like a little private studio, you know, I kind of hop around. I'm not at a shop right now, so I don't have, you know, I don't have all this freedom that I can do.
Yeah.
I started working bar backing at a little bar just one night a week, and I hand out my cards, bro. I meet people. I'm like, oh, those tats are sick. Who did it? They'll be like, blah 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 blah. This person. I'm like, bet. Here's my card.
Yeah,
and it's people constantly just flowing in. And, you know, I'm not above doing little work like that, dude. It's
No,
just
not
working
at all.
a bar, you know, slinging drinks, meeting people, chatting it up. Like, whatever. I'll do what I got to do, man. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, bro, I'm broke. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm freaking out. Like, you got to go hustle. You got to ride the wave, dude. You got to ride the wave. When you're up, you're up. When you're down, you're down.
Yeah.
You just got to hustle.
That's part of it, man.
It's
People get their self-esteem like out of whack, man, when it gets slow. That's what it is now. Don't think it's like you're not a doctor.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
not
Like,
at all. It's
yeah.
like not a huge profession.
Any artistic industry is going to have this. When you're a musician, you're up on top. Then all of a sudden, your album flops. And then we're coming back because of this Bud Light commercial. And then got caught slipping again. You know, like so. It's like, dude, you just got to go up and down. Actors do the same thing. You know, they put out a movie, they're on top of the world. Next thing you know, you're like, who's Jake Gyllenhaal? Like, you know, like I don't know, like. It's just it goes up and down.
True. Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned being a bartender because I think that the people skills that you get from being a bartender or just in general being out there, man. I bartended. I did industry services for like over 9+ years, and being able to talk with somebody, being able to connect with them, because what we do, sure, it's a nice service. It's cool. We walk in, hours later you leave with a badass tattoo, sure, but that's it. No, I want you to have an experience. I want you to connect with me to where like, hey, I know what you do for a living. I know what you're doing tomorrow, kind of. Because whenever a client's like, what you got going on tomorrow, man? As I'm tattooing, I'm doing this. Okay, so you'll have time to rest. You'll have, just random little conversations that connect. It tears down that wall to like, oh, this is a stranger that is, it's such a like intimate thing to let somebody else put something permanent on you. So therefore, you have to build a nice connection in that way.
Follow your clients back on Instagram, dude. Follow them back. Comment on their shit. Be like, hey, how's your kids? Like, oh, that's a cool shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
Then they'll remember you and be like, damn, yeah, I remember that he was cool. He did the sick tat. I'm gonna hit him back up.
Yeah, man.
Back up. And like, if you establish a rapport, don't just get them in. Boom, boom, boom. See ya. Like I'm saying, like it's following back. It's free. Free.
What are people thinking? Are they thinking at all when they don't do that? Don't they know that the things that they like and the people that they choose to do whatever service? I mean, anything, mechanic, blah, blah, blah. Anybody that you connect to, you like them more. You want to be involved with their life,
Yeah.
So why are they not being active?
I think there were people at some time that wanted to gatekeep their Instagram and cater to what they thought their Instagram should be. I remember one time I was doing a rose giveaway and there was a girl doing a guest spot at the shop that I was at. And I was like, hey, can you shout me out? And she obviously had way more followers than me. I was maybe 2 years in.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I don't want to share your shit because I don't want my Instagram to, I don't want your shitty roses to be on my Instagram. That's what I thought in my head, but my roses are pretty sick. Even something as simple as that, like a homie won't share me because it's going to throw off what they perceive their Instagram to be. Like, it was pretty stupid. And I think that mentality is kind of slowly going away, but there are people that think like that. Like, I'm not going to follow my client. That's weird. I'm not going to follow. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah, no, I play video games with a couple of my clients, man. Like, legit,
good
like
way.
every now and then, like I posted, like we need a third for whatever game we're playing. Hey, anybody want to hop on? I add a couple of them, and if they, if they're good at the game, I keep them. If they're not, then bye. You know what I mean? Sorry. No, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like you want to build those connections with them, and like he said, there are some people that have that big old head mentality. It's like, hey, I'm too good for you. I'm too good to hear. All you do is tattoo, bro. You're not a surgeon. You're not a fucking rocket scientist, bro. Like, relax, you know?
Yeah.
But I do see that, and the gatekeeping is so big nowadays because the market is so saturated. Everybody wants to have their own little shiny shit.
I understand too. There are some artists out there who worked really hard to develop the skills that they have and the knowledge that they have, and they busted their ass and they went through like a long ass apprenticeship and shit. You know, I get it. I did that too. But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, I wanted to ask, what do you think? So I feel like it's like reverse. You know how like lawyers have to pass the bar and then they become a lawyer and then like they have to maintain certain things in order to be that.
Yeah.
And you see how this is like an outlaw thing. The good side of it is you get the freedom, the open-mindedness, the acceptance and all this stuff. But you also have a flooding of people that can do it. They're not qualified to do the work.
Yeah.
So is TikTok our bar?
No.
Is that our new bar?
That's the point that I was going to make. I just remembered. We have all this abundance of information and transfer of information. Like, there's people out there giving away this information for free. So I understand why those gatekeepers were being the way they were. But it's creating a toxic environment, and it's like also
very much.
It's. I think it's kind of forcing young artists to really utilize YouTube and all that stuff to even learn bad information. So it's like if we were just to get rid of the gatekeeping things and give people correct, positive information, I think it would create a more positive environment and a more welcoming environment in tattoo shops, you know?
Is there any kind of limit that we should have so we don't have it to where people that should not be doing this job, you know what I mean, stay out?
So the way I see it there, is if you're doing things right, and by doing things right, I don't mean just doing things for the views. I've seen so many things on TikTok, going back to TikTok, dudes just randomly tattooing him. He's like, I'm gonna tattoo myself or whatever. And just for the views. The fuck is that about? You know, that
We're not gonna say it. I know you're talking about.
I know it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, that there is like for the views. No. Now, if it's somebody who wants to learn and wants to, genuinely come into a shop, serve their apprenticeship, bro, why not give you the tools and give you the knowledge? Whenever I first came in, Jose being, the kind of artist that he is, bro, I would sit next to him, ask him, what you do this, what you do that, how you do this, how you do that. He knew that I wanted to learn because one, I came here to work for him. And then two, everything that he would teach me, I would apply. So it's like he allowed me to, soak up some of that info, opposed to some people that just message me is like, hey man, I'm trying to be a tattoo artist, and everyone's like, okay, this is a lot of work, man. I just don't want you to, understand. He was like, when did you start making money? You asking that question off the rip, I can already tell you it's not about the money, man. You're not gonna make money quick. So therefore, thank you for reaching out. Thank you for, wanting me to teach you on certain things, but I just don't think that information is gonna be utilized to its absolute,
Your head is not in the right spot.
So yeah.
Yeah, if you go into any avenue thinking just about money, then you're gonna forget about how happy you truly can be with just the fact that you're making art as a professional. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But there are two things that I think that should be implemented as far as your question goes of like, should we add limitations or whatnot? I don't think we should necessarily add limitations, but I don't know if y'all are going to agree with me on this, but I think there should be some sort of entity of like really good tattooers who also understand the sanitation of everything that travels shop to shop, giving you a little education or monitoring, making sure that you're wearing fucking gloves while you're doing this, or making sure that you're checking your expiration dates and shit like that. Like, so you're not putting limits, but you're actually creating this, like, I don't want to say a government-based entity because I don't want it to be that, but I want it to be a league of people who have like the highest amount of knowledge that they can go around and double check that you're doing everything right.
Yeah,
because
but
we don't kind of have that.
But we have the health department, but they don't know what we do.
Exactly. Even their knowledge on what we do is very, very limited.
So
also, dude, I've been tattooing 8 years. Never seen a health department official in my entire life. My entire career. Never met one, never seen one.
Man, we get one all the time here.
I hear they just happen to come on my day off. They're like, oh, Joe's not here. Send the health department.
You gonna fail if he shows up.
No, yeah, I don't know. I rarely see them, but even then, they just check a small amount of things.
But
like,
they should be tattooers, is what you're saying.
They
should employ tattoo artists that know what to look for.
Yes, or at least increase the things of what to look for. You know what I mean? Like they just check a couple of random things and they dip out. Like, I don't know.
No, I get that, and I see the point to that, but that goes obviously to the sanitation, the overall keep of what you do, right? Sure. but also we're talking about the skills. You know,
That's
let's say,
what I'm
how do you
talking
pass on the skills that you've known? How do you know when to pass it on to, who to pass it on? Or should there even be that kind of question?
It should be like a I don't have any other kind of reference, but a DUI test. Like, put your hand here. Is your hand stable? I'm just saying, like, what else kind of test is there? Is your hand stable? Can you draw a line?
Another thing that I see in the industry
hand is not stable.
that shops do is tattoo.
You-
Yeah.
My hand is not stable.
You
You kidding me?
do stippling.
My hand is not stable, man. It becomes stable at the moment that I'm about to touch that client's arm. All of a sudden, I'm like locked in. But
Do
that's
they
the thing, too.
test that? I'm sorry, man.
Oh, no, you're good.
Do they test that though, like for a doctor or a surgeon or
No.
whatever? Like, the information is great. Yeah, you got the information, but do you have is your brain sharp? You know what I'm saying?
I would imagine there's some sort of like field tests. You do your practice brains and practice livers and hearts.
Okay.
Right.
But also in that industry, dude, they're like guided by computers and AI generated lasers and all that stuff. So like there's very little hands on in that field anymore. Like you think of a surgeon as like the guy with the scalpel shaking.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
not
it's
anymore.
literally a robot with a green laser and like you just make sure all the numbers are right. You're like, cool.
Nowadays,
Smoke
That
break.
LASIK?
Smoke break. Who wants to do smoke while the laser's doing this heart transplant?
Fuck, man. Hey, I'm not gonna go ahead and rat anybody out. My homie Quat, he was telling me that whenever the anesthesiologists pop in, they check your stuff, pull out the little phone. They're on the movie watching something. Look back, he's still alive. We're good.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, but he went to college for it, so it must be good at it. No, shout out to you, love, Quat, Patito.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like the whole industry itself, right? It's crazy. It is. As far as like, gatekeeping, so forth and so on, man, I think that the more you gatekeep, the more you don't, like you said, make it welcoming, it is going to be such a toxic place. It will be no matter what, man.
But man, like it's gonna be flooded with people that don't even draw. They don't even like the draw.
So that's another thing that I've seen tattoo shops do, man. They'll make a post, be like, "Hey, we're looking for an apprentice. Hey, apprentice wanted." To me, that just seems like you're looking for some shop help, and you don't want to answer your phones and shit. Like,
Yeah.
you don't see like these Buddhist monks at the top of the mountains, like, "Hey, I'm looking for an apprentice, bro." Like, no, you see the student that's like, "Hey, I want to be your disciple. I follow you and your work. I want your guidance." Not the high end people like, "We're looking for, I need help plowing these fields, y'all." Like, no,
That is true, man.
that's always been a weird concept to me, is when shops are just like, we're looking for someone to teach our knowledge. Like, it shouldn't be like that. I should be seeking you out because I value your work. I love what you do. So yeah, blah blah. That's what I did in my apprenticeship. I saw an artist. I was like, "I love your work so much. You're super cool. Please teach me. Please guide me." And she said no at first. Then like a couple of weeks later, I went back. I was like, "Please, like I really love your shit. You're super cool." It was like the first all-female LGBTQ owned shop in Dallas. So that's why I was like, "You're very progressive. I'm not gonna have to deal with any fucking bullshit." I grew up in a gay household. My mom, my sister, my brother, were gay. So like, I want to be in a more progressive environment.
Right.
And once I explained that, and told my life and my backstory and all that stuff, then that's when she was like, "Okay, cool, we'll take you on." And the one thing that she said to me, she was like, "You have character and you have like just a good sense of like just what it's like to be a good person." Like, and that's something that's was lacking in the industry at that time in 2015. And yeah, I mean, she took a chance.
Still?
I mean, still, yeah. There's still some shady motherfuckers out there. I remember I was in Austin one time, and my girl was like, "I'm thinking about moving here. Do you want to move with me? And let's go look at some tattoo shops, and you could work at these shops." And even me, I was already tattooing 3 years. I was like, "No, I don't know. I don't want to talk to these scary tattooers." It was a little exaggerated, but I was like, "I don't want to talk to these fools."
No, yeah, that's awesome, man. Like the fact that we can pick up our stuff and just move.
Oh,
It's like, bro,
dude, yeah.
the liberty that comes with that, man. Like I saw one post that said, "With you, I can travel the world." It's literally just somebody holding the machine, their inks. You can travel the world, man, anywhere you want to. And so that's why I feel like what we do is such a beautiful thing. So we're lucky to do this for a living, and the struggles, the slow seasons, the hard times, they come with everything. But I am grateful, at least myself, I'm grateful that I'm able to do what I do.
Yeah.
Through tough times, through great times, all of that, because it's such an awesome thing, man. So
Yeah, you have to have a particular mental fortitude to do what we do because you're going to deal with some tough days. You're going to deal with some fucking tough times, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
And if you really like to draw and you really like to tattoo, it could really mess with your self-esteem, to be honest with you.
oh yeah, dude.
Because, I mean, yeah, your pockets are going to be hurting and you're gonna be like, damn, man, it's like, oh, I want to make sure I got my bills together and all this, whatever. But also, like, you're spending all this time drawing when you're not tattooing.
Right.
And you're trying to perfect your craft. And then you get here and then you feel like, man, why ain't people paying attention to me? I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing.
Well, also, you might be comparing yourself to the popular tattooers that you see on Instagram, and you see them post like, "Oh, new Porsche," or like, "Hey, I'm eating this badass steak and potatoes," and like, you think it might be from tattooing, right? That's your perception. You're like, "Man, I want to be a tattooer so I can eat this badass steak and potatoes," but you don't realize they probably got that money from their parents. They
Yeah.
probably have generational wealth that we don't know about. They probably are just better at handling finances than we are. So, like, comparison is the thief of joy.
That
So
is a
just
good
do
one.
what you do. Be happy. If you're not happy with where you're at, work a little bit harder to get a little bit more.
That's right.
Hustle, you know. But don't compare yourself to what you see on the internet, bro. On Instagram, TikTok, any of that shit. I know TikTok followers. TikTok followers. I know TikTok people that have like hundreds of thousands of followers, and they still work at restaurants. Or like they'll still work at Applebee's or some shit. They just don't ever post about it. They only post like, I'm in Mexico again.
Yeah.
But like you don't see the behind the scenes and what they're doing in their real life.
Absolutely,
So
man.
yeah, that's one thing I try to not do is compare myself. The only thing I'll compare is maybe some artwork. I'll see something cool and be like, damn, that's sick. Let me try to figure out how to do that and then try to incorporate it into my style if I can.
Yeah.
That's really the only like comparison stuff that I do now.
No, and that's a good way of looking
great.
at it. That's a really, really, really great way of looking at it because at the end of the day, you are who you are. You are at the place that you need to be at the perfect time. Don't ever try to compare yourself. Don't ever try to speed past anything, man. Enjoy, like you said, enjoy the ride.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
ups,
It's
your
a
lows, all of that.
Yeah, man. It's a wave. It's a wave. The highs
Absolutely.
are high, the lows are low, and everything in
100%.
between.
But whatever the reason that you're doing this, hang through it. To all the people out there, man, if you took anything away from this, man, is don't be an asshole. Be nice to people, and be
dude.
tough, man. At the end of the day, this anything you do in life, your job, whatever you do, is gonna be tough. Hang in there. What we're doing, we're just giving you a back scene of the tough times that we have, the kind of people that we are, and if I follow you back and Joe follows you back, Terrence follows you back, it should mean that we're not in here for the money. We're here for the long haul. So please, everybody watching, thank you once again for joining us. Joe, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Terrence, again. Jose, thank you for the crew back there, man. And once again, we'll see you guys next time. Make sure to follow on YouTube. What do we else? We have Facebook and of course the Instagrams.
TikTok.
TikTok. TikTok. Thank you guys. Be easy, man.